Story. Once upon a time. So now there are three types of farts. The cute fart that makes people say, "Aww." The chubby cheeks fart that makes aunties pinch your face. And then the kind of fart that makes bus conductors sigh when you climb inside. This is the story of Mabel, Ngozi, and Aisha, who were blessed with the third kind of fat. They were not just big, they were boldly big, what the Yorubas would call Oroboki Boroki. When they entered the room, the chairs naturally adjusted themselves. When they walked, their thighs clapped for them. And when they sat, their stomachs rolled like fresh bread. The three ladies, Mabel, Ngozi, and Aisha, had been friends for over 10 years. They had met during their NYSC in Enugu, and since then they had formed a bond that was deeper than anyone could imagine. People usually call them the Three Musketeers. They laughed together, ate together, and even cried together, especially when it was time to climb a staircase. But behind all that laughter, they were all fighting the same kind of fight. They were fighting against fat, against shame, and against rejection. So for Mabel had literally tried everything under the sun to lose weight. From doing intermittent fasting to taking smoothies all day or drinking detox teas, waist trainers that nearly dislocated her ribs. She even bought a treadmill during COVID-19 just so she could lose weight. But guess where it is now? In her room, doing nothing. Instead, it is being used to hang clothes. What of her cupboard? She never had any clothes that were her size. She was always buying clothes that were for her futuristic size. She would never buy her size. She could not believe that she was now a size 24. And instead of buying clothes that would fit her, she would go ahead and buy clothes of size 12, saying that when she lost weight, she would fit into them. Even her mirror in her room was covered with a scarf because she did not like to look at herself. Anytime she saw her reflection on the mirror, she would break down in tears and weep. Mabel had been dumped by two men who would usually tell her that, you're too fat, you're too big for me. Some would even tell her that she's swollen, that she's a pregnant woman, disguising. Mabel was hot, but she tried to cover it by laughing and looking unbothered. But every night, each time she opened her fridge, she would take a big spoon of peanut butter and start consoling herself, telling herself, I do not need a man. I don't need a man. What do I even need a man for? Mabel would say to herself, trying to console herself. But deep down inside her, she knew that she was tired of being fat. She wanted to be slim. She wanted to wear nice dresses, just like every other person. Then for Ngozi was, yes, the tallest and loudest of all three. It was a proud Enugu babe. But Ngozi's problem was that she could not stop eating. Anytime she saw food, she would lose her composure and steeze and start eating like a thief. In her last relationship, Chuka, her boyfriend, loved her in private, but would never, ever agree to post her pictures online. And when she asked why, he would simply reply lovingly and say, my love, my followers are not ready. They are not ready for this kind of bold beauty. You're too beautiful to be shared with the world. You should be just for me. Chuka would say, trying to deceive Ngozi for why he was not posting her. But everyone knew the true reason why he was not posting her. Because he was ashamed of her because she was too fat. Ngozi had tried to lose weight also, just like Mabel. She had tried several types of diets, from vegan diet to keto diet. But anytime she started any of these diets, she would end up in the hospital. Then how about Aisha? Aisha, on the other hand, her own, she was trying everything possible. Anything that she saw, she would try. She had done juice fasting, Mediterranean diet. There was even a time that she only drank pineapple and ginger juice for 7 days. Aisha had never had a boyfriend. She had even resorted to dating apps. But every time, the men would say things like, you have a beautiful face, but you're too fat. So Aisha too gave up on love and deleted her pictures online. And she now became a motivational speaker. Every time she will post quotes online saying things like, love yourself regardless. You don't need a man to love you. You are enough. You are okay just the way you are. But in private, Aisha will touch her belly and weep. But one Sunday after church, the three of them had gathered in Mabel's house. They had heard a powerful sermon in church about how they could achieve their goals and rise up from the ashes. The pastor that preached that Sunday had said something profound. He said, the righteous may fall 7 times, but he shall rise again. So that day, they made a decision that they were going to rise again and try to lose weight. For real this time. No more excuses, no more eating yam at midnight, and no more just hoping and praying to lose weight. So they all decided to live together for the next few months so that they could achieve their weight loss goal and motivate one another. They downloaded fitness apps, they removed all the snacks from their kitchen, and then they began. Every morning, they would jog along their estates. They would even eat once a day, eating only salads and proteins. And they did this for like 3 days straight. But after a while, they fell low. They got tired and went back to eating like gluttons. They tried, truly they did. But the more they tried, the more their bodies fought them. It was as if there was something beating drum for them, telling them, go and eat, go and eat, go and eat. Sometimes they would even try and fast till 6 p.m. and break with salad. But then by 1 a.m. in the night, you would see Mabel sneaking into the kitchen to go and eat something, only for her to find Ngozi and Aisha already eating jollof rice, fried plantain with big chicken and Pepsi. And they would all burst out into laughter and then say, the righteous may fall 7 times, but he shall rise again. This is our third time of falling. Don't worry, we'll rise again tomorrow. And this was how it kept on going. They failed woefully at their attempt to lose weight. They were always falling and rising again, forgetting that the scripture had said that the righteous may fall 7 times but shall rise again. But as it stands, Aisha, Mabel, and Ngozi had fallen more than 70 times, yet had not yet risen. Then one day, they were all hanging out. Then Aisha stared at her two other friends and then said, see, me, I'm tired of all these natural methods of losing weight, though, all this exercising, dieting, and all that. I'm tired, though. I actually heard that there's a new clinic in Wuse that would give you pills and weight loss injections, and you would lose weight just like that. As in, the results are crazy, they are mad, fast results. Aisha said. Ngozi looked up and said, are you sure? Do they work? Ngozi asked. Then Aisha nodded and said, my dear, my cousin took them. She lost 20 kg in 6 weeks without doing anything, no, without dieting, without all of that. Aisha replied. Then Ngozi stood up and said, Biko, send me their number, eh? And I'm here suffering myself, eating salad like a goat, eating grass like a goat. Biko, give me their number now. But Mabel, she was indifferent. She just stared at them and said, wait, oh, like you both, you really want to go and inject yourselves with something that you do not know just because you want to lose weight? I don't think it is wise. I don't think it is safe. And I think that in future, there might be some health complications arising from these injections. Mabel said, looking serious. But Aisha simply responded and said, my dear, I am not injecting what I do not know. I'm injecting hope into my body, hope of fitting into normal trousers like every other person. Aisha responded. Then Ngozi replied and said, Omo, we have tried now. Okay, tell me, what kind of diet have we not done? Is it acting diet? Is it keto diet? Is it intermittent fasting? Is it OMAD, 1 meal a day? Is it exercising, jogging for me? We've done all sorts of things. Now, it's not working. Let us try science now. Let us use science to help our lives. After it is God that gave the doctors wisdom to provide these things. Ngozi responded. But Mabel simply responded and said, as for me, I am not doing it. I will go slow. If it means losing 1 kg every month, no problem. As far as it is real, as far as I'm doing it the healthy way, why not? I cannot subject my body to those kind of injections. I've never married, I've not gotten any children. What if, in the future it affects my childbearing and all that? I can't do it. Mabel responded. But the other two, Aisha and Ngozi, their minds were made up, so they didn't even bother arguing it with her. As for this, they were taking the shortcut. They were tired of suffering to lose weight. And so their weight loss journey began. And so the following week, they went to the hospital, met the doctor, and started taking their injections for weight loss. And in a matter of weeks, Aisha and Ngozi were already looking sweet. They had lost so much weight. They were looking slim and fine. Their waists were smaller. Their hips were looking sharp. Everything was just perfect. Their clothes were fitting them just fine. And by this time, they were so excited. They started hanging out more and snapping pictures more. They even now had several men asking for a relationship with them. And soon enough, they capitalized on it too and started a business where they started selling weight loss teas and products, claiming that it was their teas that had made them lose weight. And they were really selling fast and cashing out. As people actually believed that it was their teas, coffees, and the rest that actually helped them lose all this weight. Mabel, their friend, was still fat. She tried to discourage them from misleading people, saying, "Why are you people lying? Why are you lying to people that believe you online and telling them that it's all these teas that made you lose weight? When you and I know that you were taking injections that you don't even know whether it is safe for you. It's not fair. Oh. Just stop it. If this lie that you're telling me will backfire on you someday. Besides, what exactly do you even know about teas? Like, how do you manufacture what you're selling? Like, what you're selling, is it even safe? Is it safe for people that are consuming it?" Mabel asked sadly. But they just laughed it off. And then Ngozi replied her saying, "Who will tell them now? How will they know? How will they know that we use injections to lose weight? Besides, how are we supposed to recover all the money that we spent on those injections? You of all people know how expensive that treatment was. And for the content of the teas, well, trust me, it is safe. We just did a quick one. We just transferred the content of 2 or 3 different tea bags and then used it to form our own, just combined it together. See, my dear, in this life, you have to be smart, oh. Be doing good girl. Good girl does not pay again, oh. Ngozi said, and she and Aisha both busted out into laughter. They felt like queens. They felt that they had arrived. Meanwhile, Mabel was still taking the shortcut. She was still taking her walks in the morning, eating healthy, and trying to lose weight no matter how slowly. Sometimes she would lose 1 kg in 2 weeks, other times 0.5 kg in 3 weeks. But she was not discouraged. She was determined to lose weight the right way. And so things continued like this for a while. So each time all 3 ladies hung out together, they would usually mock Mabel and say, good girl, good girl. You are still doing natural method. You are still killing yourself to lose weight. Okay, oh, you will be old before you will see result. Be there doing good girl. Good girl does not pay again, no. For crying out loud, this is science. Just, take advantage of science and stop stressing yourself. Stop stressing yourself. You just like to suffer, Ngozi said. But Mabel will just smile and say, "At least I'm not injecting myself with some poison, all in the name of weight loss." And they will all laugh it off, not knowing that something was waiting for them in the future. So a few months later, it started with Ngozi. Ngozi suddenly fainted in a salon and was then quickly rushed to the hospital. At the hospital, the doctor told her that her liver was under heavy stress and that her blood pressure was too low. Then a few days later, Aisha started vomiting. Her skin broke out. Her period suddenly disappeared. She felt weak every single day. So she had to go to the hospital. The doctor asked her some questions and then looked at her and said, "My dear, it seems that these pills and injections that you took for weight loss are having an adverse effect on your organs, especially your liver. And the way you took them, you took a very high dosage in such a short amount of time. And that is what is responsible for the organ failure that you're currently experiencing. My dear, your organs are shutting down, the doctor said. Ngozi was so scared. But then something even more strange began to happen to them. All of a sudden, Ngozi and Aisha started putting on so much weight. All the weight that they had lost just came back in full force. Ngozi's stomach came back, it became big. Aisha's face was getting rounder. They were now worse than before. And not just that they were now fat, they were now sick as well. They cried non-stop. They were so sad. Mabel, on the other hand, by this time had started to lose weight. Even though, yes, she was still chubby and not as slim as her friends, but almost she was happy at the little progress she was making daily. Meanwhile, Aisha and Ngozi were dealing with sickness, bloating, and shame. They were always in and out of the hospital, spending their money receiving treatment. They were always taking one pill or the other. They now stayed indoors all the time and no longer went out, as they were terribly ashamed of themselves. They even deleted all their business pages online. They were in hiding as people began to ask questions. But Mabel was having the time of her life. As a matter of fact, she even met a handsome man named Tunde. Tunde owned a gym nearby, and he had always seen Mabel walk past his shop every morning. He noticed how consistent and disciplined she was, and it attracted him to her. Tunde would watch her every day as she walked past his gym, and in no time, he fell head over heels in love with her. He did not care about her size. He was drawn to her discipline and commitment. So one day, he walked up to her and complimented her about her discipline and commitment towards her fitness goals. Mabel was so happy and blushed. And the rest they say is history. They started talking over the phone for hours, hanging out over lunch dates, and in no time, they started dating. And a few months later, with Tunde's support and help, Mabel lost even much more weight and was now slim. And they went ahead and both got married. Mabel was so happy. Meanwhile, Aisha and Ngozi were always in and out of the hospital. They were fat, bloated, and in hiding. All their new clothes were no longer their size. They had gone back to wearing all those their big, big mama clothes. They were so sad. Ngozi was even depressed. The two ladies no longer posted pictures again. They stopped going for any events and they avoided Mabel completely because they were ashamed. But Mabel did not mock them. She visited them as often as possible. She even tried to encourage them and be there for them. Aisha and Ngozi wished that they had not taken the easy way out to lose weight. Now, they were suffering from several side effects and spending all their money on treatments at the hospital. People started calling them out on social media and even mocking them. And as a way of finding comfort, they began to eat more junk while praying for God to heal them from all the sicknesses that they had brought upon themselves by all the injections they had taken just to lose weight. So now they were no longer bothered about being fat. They were scared for their life, praying to God to spare their life, that they did not want to die. They had learned their lesson. They wished they could turn back the hands of time, but it was already too late. Hi, besties. It's your favorite storyteller, Omalicha. Thank you so much for watching my story to the end. So, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. This one now, this question is for my girlies that are fat, that are big like me. If you had the chance or the opportunity or the resources to opt for injections to lose weight. Like you and I know some injections that are in vogue now, like the Ozemp, Monja, all of that. So let's say you had the resources to pay for these injections and all that. Would you opt for it for weight loss? Or would you go through the hard way of, exercising, dieting, all of that? Or would you just embrace science? After all, it is God that gave these people wisdom to produce these things. So tell me, which one will you go for? Then, secondly, do you think that all these things would have a negative effect on the body, like in the nearest future? And lastly, what's your stand on it? Do you think it's good or bad? Like, are you a no injection person? Or do you think, yeah, it's good? I think, we can go for it. Please share your thoughts with me in the comment section. And please support your home girl, Malicha, by subscribing to my channel, liking my videos, and sharing with your loved ones. So now, till I come your way again with more interesting stories. Bye. Many years ago, in the beautiful city of Lagos, there lived a young woman whose name was Amarachi. Amarachi was beautiful. She had every single thing a man could ever want in a wife. She was tall, well shaped, had a good job in a real estate company, and was doing pretty well for herself. She did not ask anybody for money. She lived in a nice apartment, drove her own car, and minded her business. But there was just one problem. Men kept on breaking her heart. No matter how much she was a loving girlfriend, a submissive girlfriend, no matter how faithful she was, all the men that she dated would always cheat on her. Her very first serious boyfriend was Tunde. He was a banker. At first everything looked nice, perfect. He would take her out, buy her gifts, and even pray with her every morning. She thought that she had finally found the one, the man of her dreams. But one Sunday afternoon, Margie decided to surprise Tunde out of the blues with food so that they could have lunch together. She had cooked jollof rice and fried chicken and went to his house without telling him. But lo and behold, she was the one that was surprised instead. Because when she opened the door, what she saw made her freeze. Tunde was in the parlor, busy kissing, smooshing, and caressing another lady. Jesus! Amarachi screamed. Tunde immediately jumped up. Ah, baby, it is not what you think. I promise you, it is not what you think. Tunde said, is that your sister? Is it your sister that you are smooching like that? Amarachi asked, already shaking. No, it's not what you think, oh. It is the devil. The devil wants to destroy our love. The devil knows that our love will change the world. It will change the nation. It is the devil, Tunde said. Amarachi was too stunned to even say a word. She just dropped the food and walked away with tears in her eyes. Amarachi was broken. She locked herself in her room, crying and weeping for many days. But a few months after her relationship ended with Tunde, she met another man. His name was Brother Elisha. He was a pastor. That one even told her that God said that they would marry. He even told her the color of her wedding dress, white lace with long sleeves. Amarachi believed him every single word that came out of his mouth, hook, line, and sinker. As a matter of fact, she even joined his church and even joined the choir department and started singing in church. But one day, after Bible study, she forgot her phone in the church. And when she came back to collect it, she heard some noise coming from the back office. Then she tiptoed and opened the curtain quietly. Lo and behold, Brother Elisha was kissing Sister Ruth, the choir mistress. Jesus, in the house of God, what are you people doing? Amarachi screamed, tears streaming down her eyes. But Elisha immediately distanced himself from Sister Ruth and started pretending to pray. Oh, I call down fire, 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 fire. Come on, increase your voice. Pray to the Lord. Come on, come on. And that was how he and Sister Ruth pretended to pray and be calling down fire from heaven. By this time, Amarachi had had enough. It had gotten to her neck. She just left. And that was how that relationship also ended. Then came Femi, a Yoruba man who was tall, funny, and sweet. He would always call her my baby girl for life. Omoto Sho, Omoto Jasi. But then, later, Amarachi also found out that he was also calling 6 other girls the same name, my baby girl for life. And that was how that relationship also ended. Then after Femi, there was Emeka, an Igbo businessman who would send her money for lunch every day, 1,000, 2,000, and he would call her every morning. But then, 2 weeks after she agreed to date him, he borrowed a whooping sum of 2 million naira from her to clear his goods at customs. And that one disappeared without ever paying her back. As a matter of fact, his number stopped going through. His shop was closed till dates. Amarachi never saw him again. By the time Amarachi turned 34, she had dated almost every type of Nigerian man, from the Yoruba Dimono to the Igbos to the Hausa to pastor to Alpha to banker to businessman to even photographer. But all of them ended up either cheating on her or betraying her. Her friends had even started teasing and calling her Miss Heartbreak. Even her best friend Anita gave up on her. One day Anita looked at her and said, "My dear, Amarachi, maybe this marriage thing is not your destiny. Because, how many sons of Pharaoh will you date before you meet your Moses?" Anita said, as she laughed hard at her friend. And truly that night, Amarachi sat alone in her room thinking deeply. She looked at all her old rings. Some of her exes had even proposed to her. She saw all the love letters and pictures of her boyfriends. She just wiped her tears and then said, "Marriage is for me. I must marry. Maybe all I need to do is to change my strategy. As for marriage, me, I must marry you. And I think this time, the next man that I will marry must be blind. He must not have eyes. That way, he will not see other women. And if he cannot see other women, he will not be able to cheat on me. As a matter of fact, he would even be grateful and remain faithful that a woman that can see is getting married to him." So that was how Amarachi decided that her husband must be a blind man. So even though other handsome men were asking her out, Amarachi turned them away just because they were not blind, which meant that they could cheat on her someday when they saw another woman with a big front or a big back. So one day, she went to a friend's charity event where they invited people with disabilities to speak. And that was how she saw Uche. He was a blind man. Uche was tall, dark skinned, and spoke softly. He wore dark glasses and held a walking stick. But what really drew Amarachi to him was his gentle voice. He quoted Bible verses, sang sweet Igbo gospel songs, and always smiled like he had no worries. So after the event, Amarachi summoned courage and walked up to him and said, "Hi, your speech really touched me today. You're a really strong man. You're a very strong man, and I thought to tell you." Amarachi said softly. Then Uche smiled and replied her saying, "Thank you." And so that was how it started. They exchanged numbers, and from that day on, they started talking every evening. Amarachi found herself laughing again. Uche, of course, would not ask for pictures, could not comment on her body figure. He never mentioned anything about "you're beautiful" or that, because, of course, he clearly could not see her. The only thing that he talked about was, "Oh, you sound like such a good person, like you have a good heart. I love how you have so much big dreams." And that was exactly what Amarachi liked. That was what she wanted. Yes, this is it. A man that cannot see is a man that cannot cheat. A man that will focus on intangible things like dreams, vision, not a woman's front or back. Amarachi said to herself. But Amarachi, as a sharp Igbo girl, did not want any future stories. So before agreeing to date Uche, she took him to the hospital. She lied that she was just going for a general checkup. But when they got there, she quietly told the doctor in the corner, "Please, I beg, help me confirm if this man is truly blind. Me, I don't want story that touches the heart though." Amarachi said. So after several examinations, the doctor called her aside and said, Madam, this man is completely blind, zero vision. The doctor said. Amarachi was so happy. At least it meant that no more heartbreak from this male gender. So she started officially dating him without any reservations. And 2 months later, Amarachi invited him to meet her family. Her mother was shocked at first. Eh? Amarachi, blind man, are you okay? Her mother asked, looking very worried. Mommy, Haba, calm down. Don't you trust your daughter? It's fine. See, as I am like this, I'm tired of men with eyes. Oh. Eyes, like anything that pass, they'll be seen. Their eyes going chan, 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 chan. I'm tired. Now I want a man whose eyes is closed. His eyes will be fixed on Jesus. He cannot see any other thing. I want peace. Amarachi replied. And so they went ahead and had their introduction. It was quiet but sweet. And they picked a wedding date after that. And just like that, Amarachi got married to Uche, the man that she believed would never cheat on her because he was blind. Amarachi was so happy. Their marriage was so happy and blissful. For the first time in her life, she felt safe. She felt secure. She was no longer checking her man's phone, no longer following him secretly, not fighting side chicks, not crying in the bedroom, all of that was gone. She was finally free. And for the first 2 months, their marriage was sweet. Uchi, of course, was always at home, always smiling, always calling her my sunshine, the eyes that I see with. He didn't go out. He didn't press his phone as much. And every time Amarachi looked at him, she would whisper a thank you to God. Ah, God, you are too much. Thank you for blinding my husband for me. Ah, and so, everywhere she went also, she would talk about her husband. My husband is the best. Uche is the best man ever. See, blind men are the kind of men that women need to date. They are the ones that give you peace of mind. No worries. You feel secure. You feel safe. By this time, even her colleagues at the office, they were tired of hearing, my husband is the best. Marry a blind man. Uche is the best. They were sick and tired of it all. But then, what Amarashi did not know was that somewhere inside her house, her blind husband was already cheating. And not just with anybody, but with the housemaid. Amarachi had noticed a few changes in her housemaid. How her housemaid now preferred to wear short, tight skirts and walk slowly in front of Uche, like she was on a runway. But of course, she did not read any meaning to it. After all, her husband was blind, so what was there to fear? But what Amarachi did not know was that Uche did not need a pair of eyes to cheat on her. Because a man that will cheat with or without eyes. And yes, he was blind, but his other senses were heightened because he already knew the scent of Ngozi's perfume and could tell when she entered the room. As a matter of fact, their affair had started when Ngozi the maid would come to clean his room and then greet him with a sweet baby voice. Good afternoon, sir. I want to clean the room. Do you want me to do anything for you? Should I adjust your pillow? Should I get you a cold glass of water, of juice? Do you want anything at all? Ngozi the maid would say seductively. And that was it though. From adjusting pillow to massaging legs to giving him a cold glass of juice when Amarachi was not home. And then she graduated to actually warming his bed. Amarachi, on the other hand, would travel for the weekend, leaving her blind husband with the maid, confident that nothing could ever go on between them because he is blind. But unknown to her, that her maid and her so-called blind husband were having the time of their lives. And for many weeks, their affair continued. But after a while, Uche became bold. He started using voice notes to chat with different women online. He had a special phone that responded to his voice. He knew all the voices of the women that he chatted with. Once he heard a new voice, he would save it and label them by the sound. Some he would call husky girl, sweet one, busty voice, and so on. Then he graduated from chatting with women online to meeting them offline. And Uche's driver was the one that was responsible for arranging this meetup. Anytime Amarachi was at work, Uche's driver, Mr. Shola, would bring in curvy women in red jumpsuits, short gowns into their home. And Uche will have fun with them in the guest room and then compensate the driver handsomely for his services. And still, Amarachi did not know what was happening under her roof. She was still busy making mouth with her friends that getting married to a blind man was the best thing that could ever happen to her. Not knowing that every single Friday, when she went for her women's fellowship, that her husband would receive another guest. Sometimes in 3 hours, more than 10 girls would troop in and out of their home. Uche was always busy. But soon, Ngozi the maid got jealous that her blind boss was now sleeping with other women and had abandoned her. So she decided to snitch on him. But first, she had to resign. So she left and stopped working for Amarachi. So one Saturday afternoon, when Amarachi was home alone after Ngozi had resigned, her phone rang. It was Ngozi. Madam, there's something that I need to tell you. I know you will not believe me, but you see that your husband, that one is sleeping with several women of different shapes and sizes. Ngozi said wickedly. Amarachi immediately sat up straight. Eh? Ngozi, what are you talking about? Are you okay? How dare you accuse my husband of such nonsense? Amarachi replied. But Ngozi went ahead and gave her details of the time and the days that they came and how Uche's driver was in on it. At this point, Amarachi was confused. Her head started turning on its own. How? How? How is that even possible? My husband is blind. There must be a mistake somewhere. No, you are definitely lying. Amarachi said, tears streaming down her eyes. Amarachi dropped the phone and then began to weep profusely. But then everything started to add up. She remembered the strange perfume that she sometimes perceived on Uche's shirt, the voice note that he once sent to her and mistakenly said, "Hey, sexy," instead of "Hey, sweetheart," as he usually referred to her. The loud giggles that she once heard from the guest room when she had come home early, and Uche had claimed that he was listening to comedy in the guest room. And the time that she had caught Shola smiling to himself and typing fast on his phone when she had asked, "Where is Oga?" Everything started to add up. Everything started to make sense to her. That night, Amarachi did not sleep. So the next morning, while Uche was in the bathroom, she took his phone. She did not need a password because he used voice command and it was already unlocked. She entered his voice note and what she saw nearly made her run mad. More than 27 voice notes from different women, Instagram DMs from baddies. One DM said, "Your lips taste better than I imagined, even though you did not open your eyes." The other DM said, "Next time, let us do it in the master bedroom instead of the guest room." Amarachi screamed. She opened the next DM. It was a video of a curvy girl dancing in the same parlor, her parlor that she used to pray in. Everything was the same, the rug, the curtain. It could not be any other place than her house. Amarachi could not believe her eyes. Her blind husband, the one that cannot see, the one that she said was God sent, was worse than all her exes combined. Even Femi the Yoruba demon did not do like this. Emeka did not host women in her own house. Even brother Elisha no do rich like this. Haba! Uche beat all of them hands down with his blindness. Amarachi just sat on the floor and began to laugh. Hey, Amarachi. So this is what my life has become. A whole new Amarachi Nduka. So now even a blind man is cheating on you. Hi! Amarachi. Of all the handsome men in this world, you left them and ended up with a blind man, thinking that he will be faithful to you. Yet, with no eyes, he can still cheat on you. Hi! Amarachi, who caused me? Who did this to me? Amarachi said. And then she broke down in tears. For many days, she locked herself up, crying and weeping. And after a few weeks, she packed up and left her marriage for good. She began to ponder about what her friend had told her, that maybe indeed marriage was not for her. And soon she began to believe it and say, maybe marriage is not for me. So one day, after 3 weeks, she picked up her phone and called her best friend Anita and said, Annie, I have made up my mind though. I am tired. I'm not marrying again. I'm not doing relationship again. I'm not dating again. I'm not even going to greet a man again. I'm not going to answer any man's greeting again. I want to go far away. I want to start my life afresh. Amarachi said, Go where? What do you mean? Calm down. Talk to me. Say something. Anita asked. Then Amarachi replied and said, As it stands, I'm going to a convent though. That's the only place that is left for me. I'm going to become a nun. I'm going to go and serve the Lord Jesus with my whole heart. Amarachi replied, What? You, a nun? You want to become a reverend sister? Are you okay? No, just calm down. You're just making a hasty decision because your heart, has been broken. Just relax, calm down and think this through. Anita replied, This matter is already concluded. I'm serious. As it stands, the only man that I can trust now is my Lord and my personal Savior, Jesus. Every other man is counterfeit. So please, allow me. Let me tell you so you don't look for me. I'm packing up everything and I'm going to the convent. I'm going to go and become a reverend sister. Amarachi replied. So that same weekend, for real, Amarachi actually packed her bags and went to a small convent in Enugu State. She shaved her hair, dropped her phone, and started her new life in silence and prayers. She told the Reverend Sister, Please, don't let any man call me again. I don't want breakfast anymore. I don't want relationship again. I just want to serve my God. And of course, the sisters will not turn her away. They accepted her. And so Amarachi, the beautiful, well-shaped, hardworking lady who had once dated almost every type of Nigerian man, finally found the peace that she was looking for. But it was in the convent. She went ahead and became a reverend sister. She even went ahead and wrote a book that became a bestseller, which was titled Blind Men Too Have Side Chicks. And so Amarachi lived the rest of her days peacefully as a reverend sister in the convent. Hi besties, it's your favorite storyteller, Omalicha. Thank you so much for watching my story to the end. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. What do you think about Amarachi? Do you really think that some people are not destined to be married? Or do you think that every single person is destined to be married? Please share your thoughts with me in the comment section. And also, if you were in her shoes, would you keep hoping for love? Or would you go and become a reverend sister just like Amarachi became? Please share your thoughts with me in the comment section. And also, if you have not yet joined and become a member of our channel, like what are you waiting for? Click that join now button and please support your homegirl on Malicha by subscribing to my channel, liking my videos, and sharing with your loved ones. So now, till I come your way again with more interesting stories. Bye!